for about 15 minutes and then open it up to you guys for your questions. So, shall I begin? So formal. This isn't honor of Team Canada. 3-0 Canada over Russia when I left. Anyways. I have some questions. Is it better with a mic or no mic?
Mike.
Mike. Definitely Mike, okay. I had a question for you, Spike. Do you feel that your needle is stuck in childhood?
I've been accused of it. And I don't know. I mean, I think because I just did this movie based on his book, Where the Wild Things Are, and it's a children's movie, that was the sort of rap I got a lot when the movie came out. And I don't know. I can't tell, but I'd like to think I'm 40 and I'm a man, very mature.
I don't like to think of myself as 46, but, and I'm certainly not mature. I think it's overrated.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess I like to think of myself as being, I guess creativity is a very childlike thing, and I like to think of myself as being able to tap into that part of myself easily, and it's a part of myself I enjoy a lot. And, but also, want to have adult relationships and adult interactions with people and be emotionally mature, and sort of finding that balance. Is that possible?
That is possible, yes. You've had a long time collaborative relationship with Lance. And Lance, how did you guys hook up to be collaborators?
Well, Lance is a documentarian who has probably been making films for 20 years, since or longer. But he's somebody I met. He's somebody who sort of finds things he's interested in, people he's interested in, just follows them and makes films them and ends up making documentaries about those subjects. And I met him when he was filming Sonic Youth about 15 years ago, and he was on tour with Lollapalooza tour in '95, and so. Sonic Youth I'd shot some of their shows just with Thurston's video camera, and afterwards they asked if I'd put together a video of a live video, and so I met Lance because I asked him if he had footage, and I met him filming, and he sent me all this Super 8 tapes and Super 8 footage, and through it, we sort of cut a lot of the footage up from that, and on it was all this other stuff, all this personal footage, because it was just sort of all in a case together, and I got to know his work sort of through that, just watching all his sort of Super 8 archival footage. And do you have, is that?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that it was, all the Super 8 film I shot that spring and summer was all, I hadn't known it was going to end up in that Sonic Youth video, so it was sort of everything I was working on. I think there was some REM tour footage and other things I've been shooting in parking lots or traveling around and filming kids in different parts of the country.
You're from the South.
Yeah, my
well,
dad's
you moved
all over. So I was in Athens, Georgia.
But from the age of 17, do you consider yourself a Southerner?
I feel like it. Yeah, I don't identify with where I live.
So I'm from Canada. So I never understand how Southern do you feel, and how does your Southernness enter your work?
I feel like I belong to a sort of lineage or tradition of people who end up in the South who find a home or a root there, but are not, sort of dominant Southern culture, if that makes sense. And Athens, Georgia, which is a place that I lived for a long time, was a great haven and a refuge for people to come to from other areas in the South who maybe didn't fit in their smaller town, but that was where you would end up with all the other interesting.
So when, forgive me, but when you find people like yourself, it becomes a very, so
yeah,
when you met
absolutely.
Spike, it must have been.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we might have met in person out in Los Angeles during like an REM tour or something like that you'd come out to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
right. Maurice is an eccentric, and I've known you for a while, and I think you're an eccentric as well. And having grown up English, that's like one of the best things you can say about somebody. What do you feel about eccentricity? I'll put that to either of you.
I'm not sure if I have strong, what is it?
Are you so eccentric you have no sense of other people's eccentricity?
It's funny, we had a conversation about Lance Bangs' idiosyncrasies, and that must be related at some point, but Jeff Buchanan, our editor, who's in the room somewhere, Jeff, where are you? There's Jeff. Jeff and I were driving up to Maurice. Jeff and Lance and I were driving up to Maurice's one day, and we'd been shooting for a while, and so we got in the car and we were planned on sort of just figuring out what we were going to shoot that day, and based on how the edit was going and what we needed, and but before we got too far into that conversation, I asked Jeff if I had a recent realization that he has a lot of idiosyncrasies, and I asked Jeff if he thought the same thing, and Jeff's like, "Are you kidding? Yes." And so we spent the hour and a half, instead of talking about what we were going to film, just talking about Lance Bangs' idiosyncrasies. One of
Is
which
that the next film?
Yeah, we should have videotaped it. One of which is he doesn't like the color red. So
Hold on 1 second. Thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, it's not a good day for that.
thank you, Mikey. Yeah.
Well,
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve, dude. I'm not here to punish.
And what are the other ones? Jeff over visors, yeah. Shoes, yeah. He'll find one pair of shoes and buy like 10 pair and then wear them for 10 years.
What is it about eccentricity? I mean, that's eccentric. But you guys don't think that is that's part of eccentricity, is going, how so?
Way to play that on.
Way to put it on you.
If you had to choose between, see, I know you a bit better, but in the brief time, you guys are, and so is Maurice, an odd combination of emotion, intellect, and imagination. If you had to rank them, how would you rank them as important things? Emotion, intellect, and imagination.
I think in terms of the way I look at Maurice, the thing I find his imagination certainly is inspiring. I think that's what initially drew me to him, is his imagination. But the thing that I find most deeply inspiring is his ferocious honesty and his fearlessness to be honest, both as a person, as a friend, as a mentor in helping us to make this movie.
That sounds like a Venn diagram overlap of the three characteristics. But what's so amazing to me is where the Wild Things are. What I was shocked is how emotional it is. It's almost made of pure emotion. And in a weird way, you as a person and a lot of your other work, it was such a departure. And this is such an emotional documentary.
Yeah, I feel like with Where the Wild Things Are, I feel like being 9 and trying to understand the world as a 9-year-old, I feel like that is primarily an emotional experience as opposed to like an intellectual experience.
But you have such léger demand, such like, you're good at magic tricks, but it's such an interesting combination of magic tricks and pure emotion, and that's what is such a beautiful thing about your work.
Thank you.
There, I said it publicly. I have one other question.